How you guys doing today? It's Anthony Ganji. Welcome to another episode of Tier Talk. Guys, this is a very exciting episode. I have Greg Piper here. He's the Director of Training from Guardian RFID, and we are excited to share a message with you. But first, let me show you a video from the Guardian RFID YouTube channel. Check this out.
What does commitment look like to you? Does it shudder in the face of fear? Or does it run toward danger while others are running away? Commitment means never giving up. Commitment is helping others when they need you the most. Commitment is the foundation of great accomplishments. The Warrior Foundation is committed to protecting America's thin gray line. Guardian RFID, Securus Technologies, AWS, and GTL stand united to further the Warrior Foundation commitment. Together, we commit to helping those that protect us. We're pleased to announce that the Warrior Foundation is providing up to 250,000 free masks to correctional facilities hardest hit by COVID-19. If your facility needs help, please visit warriorfoundation.us. Show your commitment today by donating masks or making financial contributions to the Warrior Foundation.
All right, guys. Greg Piper here. Greg's been on my show before, but if you don't mind, Greg, can you introduce yourself, but also talk a little bit about Guardian RFID?
Absolutely. I'm the Director of Training for Guardian RFID, as Tony mentioned. Been with the company about 3.5 years. Gives me about 15 years in corrections altogether. I was an officer walking the tiers in a state facility for almost 10 years, and then I became a deputy sheriff assigned to the corrections division. So I've been on both the prison and jail side and then the private sector side for almost 15 years altogether between those three. And I've been across this country visiting with the great men and women who work behind the walls. And I have a passion for what they do, just helping them be professionals. And our company, Guardian RFID, is all about ensuring that corrections professionals have the tools they need and have the weapons they need to become warriors in the field so that they can solve the problems that they face every single day.
First of all, Greg, I'm honored to have you, but I'm also honored to be connected to Guardian RFID, by the way. They're doing everything they can to get the message across to make sure our men and women are safe behind that wall. But it's not just about what they say, it's their actions. I mean, they're helping me with a documentary about a fallen hero, and now to be part of Operation Swift Mask. What exactly is Operation Swift Mask?
Well, Operation Swift Mask is a collaborative effort between 4 of the industry leaders in corrections: GuardianRFID.com, Securus, GTL, and AWS are leading this charge by making available 250,000 masks to corrections professionals across the country. And we are in absolute support of this. So I'm more of a spokesman for the Warrior Foundation tonight and about this initiative, Operation Swift Mask, as we are pushing it out there to let correctional facilities across the country know these masks are going to be available almost immediately to replace the ones you've been using. And we want to get you up to speed so you have the PPE you need.
Now, a few weeks ago, I was actually getting food at Chili's, and Ken had made a surprise phone call. Ken is the CEO, would you say?
President and CEO of the company, correct.
He was calling me up. He was very happy about this project, but it wasn't confirmed at that point. So I know there was a lot of work. He had to do a lot of things behind the scenes to make this happen, and also partner up with these, is it 4 companies total?
Yeah, there are 4 currently involved, the 4 cornerstones, if you will, of the Warrior Foundation: Guardian RFID, Securus Technologies, GTL, and AWS, a collaborative effort between these 4 for this particular project.
Right, I remember chatting with him and how he told me it was just so important to him. But I want to ask you, for just today, right now, why do you think a project like this is so important?
This is an all-hands-on-deck type of situation, as Ken likes to say, and we felt like we wanted to bring these industry leaders together to find a way to reach out in times of disaster. The Warrior Foundation, at its core, is designed to help those on the thin gray line during disaster times. And that's exactly what this is. This is one of those times when there are officers in need of some support. And we thought this was the best way to support by providing some PPE for those brave men and women as fast as we can, at no cost to them, obviously.
Right. I remember a while ago, Ken told me that The reason why he's passionate about corrections is because his business got him to be familiarized with, what the profession's about and, working with the brave men and women. He just wind up having such a connection with them. And obviously, a lot of the people that actually work within his company are yourself. You have a history of working in corrections. And I think part of this project, when I was talking to him, the importance was the fact that he wanted to make sure that those that work in corrections are not forgotten, that they're considered first responders. And to me, that's just something that you have no idea how much I appreciate that, because that's what we do, me and you, Greg, every day, making sure that people know that these are heroes here and they deserve that recognition. So this is a man that goes beyond the word. He commits to an action along with the other companies as well.
Absolutely.
Now, out of curiosity, so we're talking about 250,000 masks. So when does the distribution of this mask start?
So the first run of masks will be available starting next week, and they're going to be shipped out of our offices. We're kind of the linchpin at this point, out of our offices in Maple Grove, Minnesota. So we're going to have masks on hand as of next week, and we'll begin shipping them out immediately. As a matter of fact, this was just announced today, and we've already received numerous requests from facilities across the country. We received emails from Ohio, Wisconsin, Florida, Colorado, New Jersey, several different facilities reaching out to us asking for masks as soon as possible. Very excited about this opportunity and grateful that these companies have put this together, that the Warrior Foundation is doing something like this for a group of people who are underserved.
I do want to mention, as soon as he sent me the video, he really made adamant that I push it on my venues, which I did immediately, because he wants to make sure the message gets out there and that, this is a need. We have to get to them immediately. So we don't want to slow it down. We want to get it moving. And you mentioned that the masks are free.
Yes. All the shipping costs are free. All this facility has to do is go to warriorfoundation.us. That's warriorfoundation.us. Go to the website, and there's a form to fill out that will ask some basic questions: facility, type of facility, what your needs are, and how many masks your facility might need. Because there may be a point when we get to where we don't have enough to fill all the requests for everybody's numbers. So we're going to try and meet the greatest number of facilities as quickly as possible. So based on the size of your facility and the need that you have, the number of officers and civilians that need these masks, that's where we're going to try and meet as many of these needs as possible as quickly as possible.
Well, I think you kind of touched on it a little bit, but is there a limit to how many masks a facility can receive?
That's really going to be up to the board at the Warrior Foundation and to determine how many are out there. We know that there are larger facilities that may have hundreds of officers and civilians every day, and there are smaller facilities, each one of them very valuable in our corrections community. So we're going to base it on number of staff and the requests that they've asked for.
Right, and there's one question here if I want to touch on, like, who can specifically receive the mask? Now, I know that this is what's great about Guardian and the other three companies, which if you don't mind re-mentioning them again.
Yeah, AWS, Securus, GTL, and Guardian RFID are the four cornerstones of the Warrior Foundation.
Right. So it's great to know that there's companies out there that haven't forgotten those correctional officers, as I mentioned before. So even though when we're giving out these masks, people may say, well, can the mask go specifically to the inmate population? In my experience, I have seen that there are so many people willing to help the inmate population, but there's not that many that are willing to help out the staff, the civilians, the volunteers, the custody. So this is a movement that's devoted to the forgotten, but it doesn't mean that we're not worried about the other side. What it does mean is the other side seems to be taken care of. So let's see if we could fill the gap and balance the need. So
exactly,
who specifically can receive the mask again?
So the point of this Operation Swift Mask is to get masks in the hands of corrections professionals and civilians that work inside the facilities as quickly as possible. Once the masks get to the facility, we're obviously going to leave it to the discretion of the administration and those responsible for where those masks go. The point of the Warrior Foundation is to help the thin gray line during times of disaster. So we obviously want it to go to the corrections professionals first and foremost and the civilians, but we can't stop a facility, and that's not really our place. We just want to make sure these masks are getting to the staff as quickly as possible, the people who need them in this time of trouble.
Right, and just again, it's great what you guys are doing. I'm actually excited. Now, what types of masks are being made available?
Well, based on availability right now, 3-ply surgical masks are all that we were able to get our hands on. We're hoping to have N95s and KN95s, the higher grade masks, by the end of May and early June. But right now, we wanted to get masks that we could get our hands on as quickly as possible to meet the need. So we've gotten some 3-ply surgical masks, and those are the ones we'll be sending out next week.
Okay, now let's say that there are people watching this and they say, hey, you know what, this is a great initiative. How can we get involved? How can we help finance more masks for those brave men and women working those front lines? And when I say brave men and women, correctional officers, but also we are in recognition of our civilian staff who's also going in there who don't get the recognition as well. So Absolutely. How can we help? How can we help finance this initiative?
So they can do a couple of things. One, they can also go to warriorfoundation.us and absolutely go to the website. And there's a link there for if they want to make a charitable donation, because this is a 501c3. This is absolutely nonprofit charity. It's got a board. It meets all the criteria. This is the whole point of the Warrior Foundation is not to make money. It's to help the thin gray line in times of trouble. So the first place they go, warriorfoundation.us. But I also have a physical address, and let me look here. It is Warrior Foundation, 6900 Wedgwood Road North, Suite 325, Maple Grove, Minnesota, 55311. And if maybe at the end here, Tony, if you want to put it at the bottom, we can list that here on your page. So it can be listed there at the bottom. We can put it as a comment, this physical address. But of course, warriorfoundation.us or this address in Maple Grove, either way. And we would absolutely welcome any industry or any individual who wants to give a donation to the Warrior Foundation.
I don't know, with the use of social media, the power of those hashtags. What's the hashtag for the initiative? Hashtag
protecting warriors, because isn't that really what we're all about here on Tier Talk and Guardian RFID and the other great companies? We definitely want to protect those folks behind the walls.
This is amazing what Guardian RFID is doing. I want to kind of keep this video short because people sometimes it's quick. They want to just get the message and be done. So This is more of just getting the message out there. But do you have anything closing? How does this make you feel personally that Guardian is doing this and that you're a part of Guardian?
I'll tell you what, I know that like I said, my daytime job is as the director of training for Guardian, but I would absolutely be honored to work pro bono for the Warrior Foundation. I would do whatever is necessary because this is such a great thing. I don't even know if there are other not-for-profits out there for folks in corrections. So I'm super pumped. This is just the first step. It's very important right now, but this is the first in many announcements we hope to make from the Warrior Foundation about things to help, whether it be future scholarships and help in any way, disaster relief, or whatever we can do. But right now, Operation Swift Mask is the one we're really excited about, to get these masks and to protect our brave men and women, to get that PPE in their hands as quickly as possible.
You know what's great, guys, just real quick, and I'll let it go, is I started Tier Talk a few years ago to make sure that this profession got that recognition and was able to kind of be seen in the same light as other law enforcement professionals. But also there was a bigger picture too, because as I started to develop in my career, I noticed the other sacrifices that are made by the civilian staff, the volunteers, people that are dedicated to the greater mission, which is, making these inmates, rehabilitate these inmates, but also make sure we do it in a safe and secured environment. So right. It's great to see that people are looking, into our prisons and jails and saying, hey, what about them? What can we do for them?
It's critical that we reach out to these folks because they are a very underserved population.
Yeah, so I'm just humbled to be part of this. It's part of the mission. It's part of that recognition. So we're finally starting to see, guys, the people that work in the shadows of the criminal justice system. You guys are getting a light, and it's a well-deserved light. Hey, Greg, thank you. Ken Dowley. And can we give a final thank to AWS, GTL, and Securus?
Absolute. Thanks again to all cornerstones of the Warrior Foundation, Guardian RFID, Securus, GTL, and AWS. Great partners in Operation Swift Mask.
Yes, thank you, guys. And guys, if you get this information, please get on it quickly, because if you don't get on it quickly, other places will. And if you're slow, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to get the limited supply we have at this moment. So the quicker the better. Plus, you need it. So let's be immediate with this. As always, guys, the show is Tier Talk. If you haven't, please subscribe, interact, engage, comment, hit that bell. Bell's going to notify you every time I post up a video. Stay safe.